الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد، يا عباد الله، قال العلامة الإمام عثيمين رحمه الله تعالى: اتقوا الله تعالى. He said, fear Allah, the Most High. واشكروه على من أنعم به عليكم من نعمة الأولاد. He said, and be thankful unto Allah Azza wa Jal to that bounty in which He has bestowed upon you from the blessings of children, from the bounty of children in which He has bestowed upon you. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ هَذِهِ النِّعْمَةِ فِتْنَةٌ لِعَبْدٍ وَاخْتِبَارٌ. He said, and know that this bounty in which Allah Ta'ala has bestowed upon you from children, then verily it is a fitna, it is a trial, and it is a test for the slave. The children, they are trials and they are tests for the slaves of Allah Azza wa Jal. فَإِمَّا مِنْحَةٌ تَكُونُ قُرَّةَ عَيْنٍ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. It's going to be one of two situations. The first situation, which is the ideal situation, is that these children, they will be a coolant of the eye inside of this world and in the akhirah. Sururun lil-qalb wal-misaqun lil-nafs. There will be happiness to the heart, and there will be an opening up for the chest and a widening of the breast, happiness. وَعَوْنٌ عَلَى مُكَابَدِ الدُّنْيَا. And they will be an aid, a help and assistance for you upon the perils of this world. وَصُلَاحٌ يَحْدُوهُمْ إِلَى الْبِرِّ فِي الْحَيَاةِ وَبَعْدِ الْمَمَاتِ وَاجْتِمَاعٌ في الدنيا على طاعة الله واجتماع في الآخرة في الدار الكرامة الله. There will be a happiness and a rectification that will bring about and that will lead to good and righteousness, and the gathering together upon righteousness in this world and after death. Coming together in this world upon the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. Listen to these characteristics. The righteous child and a righteous parent, their relationship should be one of mutual obedience unto Allah Azza wa Jal. So they should come together upon the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal, and inside of this dunya they will come together upon the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jal. And in the next life they will come together inside of the abode of bliss of Allah Azza wa Jal, inside of the abode of that generous of bliss that belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَمَا أَلَتْنَاهُمْ مِنْ عَمَلِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ كُلُّ امْرِئٍ بِمَا كَسَبَ رَهِينٌ. Allah Ta'ala, He says, what means? And those who believe and their children follow them in belief. Those who believe and their children follow them in iman, they follow them in the proper belief, then we will unite them with their children. We will unite them with their children in the hereafter, in the Jannah. The families, they will not be separated, but they will be gathered together. The believing members of the family, they will be together inside of the Jannah. So we will put them all together, gather them all together, and no one's deeds will be lost in the least. No one's deeds will be lost. but rather everyone shall be paid according to that which they have earned. Everyone will get paid according to that which they have earned, so no one will be cheated, but everyone will get paid their measure. And then they'll receive a bounty from Allah Azza wa Jal by gathering them along with their believing family members inside of the Jannah. This is how they will come together in the next world. This is an objective, this is a goal that we should all be trying to achieve. وَإِنَّ مِنْ أَسْبَابِ هَذِهِ مِنْهَا, and from the causes and the reasons for the attainment of this type of gift, أَنْ يَقُومَ الْوَالِدُ مِنْ وَأَبٍ, والأب هو المسؤول الأول لأنه راع في أهله ومسؤول عن رعيته. Because the father, or from the attainment of this, is that the parents, they will have to establish these causes and these reasons from the proper education, the rearing and the like. Both the mother and the father. And the father, he is the first to be questioned. He is the first as relates to this responsibility. لأنه راع, because he is the shepherd. He is the shepherd of his household, and he is the one who was asked about those who are under his shepherdship. He is the one who was asked about those who are under his care. أن يقوم كل من والدين على أولاده, that everyone from both of the parents, and they have to establish and be upon their children as relates to their education. وفي أولادهم بما يجب عليه من رعاية وعناية وتربية صالحة. They have to be upon their children in everything that is necessitated, that enters into and it is required. So as they are looking after and taking care of them and raising them with a righteous raising them righteously, لِيُخَلِّفَ بَعْدَ, so that he may leave after him, he may leave in his wake ذُرِّيَّةً صَالِحَةً تَنْفَعُهُ وَتَنْفَعُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. So he will leave in his wake righteous children, righteous offspring, that will be a benefit for him and a benefit for the Muslims. فَإِنَّ الْعَبْدِ مَتَى أَصْلَحَ مَا بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ رَبِّهِ أَصْلَحُ اللَّهُ لَهُ مَا بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ الْخَلْقِ. Because the slave, when he rectifies that which is between himself and between his Lord, then Allah will rectify for him that which is between him and between the creation. So the rectification, ya ibad, then it will start with the individual, it will start with ourselves. The rectification, ya ibad, when we look at it in the scope of the family structure and what we're speaking about, then it will start with the mother and the father. The rectification, it will start with the parents, the father and the mother. The Imam rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, مَعَ حُسْنِ النِّيَّةِ, but they have to have a good intention. The intention has to be for Allah Azza wa Jal, upon the tawheed, only for Allah Azza wa Jal. وَاسْتِعَانَةً بِاللَّهِ Azza wa Jal, and seeking the help, the aid and the assistance from Allah Azza wa Jal. وَكَثْرَةِ الدُّعَاءِ وَاللُّجُوءِ إِلَيْهِ, and by supplicating much unto Allah Azza wa Jal, and by returning themselves and running back to Allah Azza wa Jal, running back and seeking refuge in Allah Azza wa Jal. يَحْصُلُ الْخَيْرِ كَثِيرٌ, then if they do this, then they will find much good, they will come about much good. وَتَرْبِيَّةَ الصَّالِحَةِ, and it will come upon a most excellent of rearing and education for their children. وَيَقُولُ اللَّهُ, Allah Azza wa Jal, يَقُولُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى فِي وَصْفِ عِبَادِ الرَّحْمَنِ, Allah Ta'ala, He says about and describing a characteristic from the servants of Ar-Rahman. Allah Ta'ala, He tells us a characteristic of His servants, of His slaves. Allah Ta'ala, He says about them, وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّتِنَا قرة أعين وجعلنا للمتقين إماما, is that they say, "Oh our Lord," they beg upon Allah Azza wa Jal from the characteristics of the righteous slaves of Allah Azza wa Jal, is that they beg Allah, they beseech Allah, they supplicate unto Allah Azza wa Jal. What is that supplication that they're asking Allah Azza wa Jal? What is that request that they're asking from Allah Azza wa Jal? What is that thing that they're begging Allah Azza wa Jal for? Is, as Allah Ta'ala says, what means. And those who they say, "Oh our Lord, give to us, grant from us, from yourself, that our wives and that our offspring, our children, and they are the coolness of our eye. Make our wives and our children and our offspring the coolness of our eye. And make us for your righteous, fearing slaves, leaders. And make us leaders and examples for your righteous, fearing, pious slaves." It want to reflect upon the reality of these individuals who are the imams of the muttaqun, who are the imams of those who have taqwa, the imams of those who fear Allah Azza wa Jal. Then he will realize that these individuals are individuals who themselves are of a great status, a lofty, high and tremendous status, those who are extremely pious, extremely fearing of Allah Azza wa Jal, those who are outstanding examples of slaves of Allah Azza wa Jal. So they not only do they beg that Allah Ta'ala rectifies them, but they beg that Allah Ta'ala rectifies their families, rectifies their wives, rectifies their children, and make them examples for the believing men and women. Make them examples for the muttaqun, those who have fear of Allah Azza wa Jal, those who have taqwa. They beg Allah Azza wa Jal for the rectification of themselves and the rectification of their families. Imam Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, فَوَاللَّهِ مَا سَأَلُوا ذَلِكَ وَقَعَدُوا عَنْ فِعْلِ الْأَسْبَابِ. He said that, or عَنِ الْفِعْلِ الْأَسْبَابِ. He said that, by Allah, they will not ask that, and then they will sit. And then they will sit upon the taking of the means. They won't ask that, and then they will come with inability, they will come with a lack of motion, they won't come with the taking of the means for that. They won't just ask that they won't just ask that without any type of effect. They will ask it and then they won't do nothing. But rather they ask it and then they take the means. The Imam, he says, فَإِنَّ الْعَقْلِ وَالشَّرَعِ كُلٌّ مِّنْهُمَا يَقْتَضِي أَنَّكَ إِذَا سَأَلْتَ اللَّهَ شَيْئًا فَلَا بُدَّ أَن تَفْعَلَ مَا تَقْدِرُ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ أَسْبَابِهِ. He said, because the intellect and the legislation, both of them necessitate that if you ask Allah for anything, إِذَا سَأَلْتَ اللَّهَ شَيْئًا, if you ask Allah for anything, that it is a must that you take the proper means, or that you do everything that is within your means of doing, so as to take the means and the causes for that thing in which you're asking for. The Imam rahimahullah ta'ala says, فإن كل واحد لو سأل الله رزقا لسعى في أسبابه. He said, because everyone, if they ask Allah for provisions, if they ask Allah for money, they ask Allah for an increasement in wealth, so on and so forth, then they all strive in the attainment of the causes that lead to an increasement in wealth. No one asks Allah Ta'ala for wealth, for an increasement in wealth, and then they sit upon their hands, they don't do nothing. They sit upon their hands, they don't make any movement. No one does that. The aql tells you that this is not the proper course of action. The sharia tells you this is not the proper course of action. But if you're asking for something, then you have to get up and you have to take the necessary means in the attainment of that thing. The Imam rahimahullah ta'ala says, لِأَنَّهُ يَعْلَمُ أَنَّ السَّمَاءَ لَا تُمْطِرُ ذَهَبًا. He said, because he knows that the sky don't rain gold. He knows gold don't rain down from the sky. Money don't fall from the sky. The Imam rahimahullah ta'ala brings another example. He says, وَلَوْ سَأَلَ اللَّهُ ذُرِّيَّةً لَسَعَى فِي حُصُولِ الزَّوْجَةِ. He said, if you ask Allah for children, if you ask Allah for offspring, he said, then he will strive to what? He will strive to get a wife. He will strive to attain marriage, to get a wife. لِأَنَّ الْأَرْضَ لَا تُنْبِتُ الْأَوْلَادَ. He said, because the ground doesn't bring forth children. He said, because children don't pop out the dirt and pop out the ground. وَهَكَذَا إِذَا سَأَلَ اللَّهُ صَلَاحَ ذُرِّيَّتِهِ. He said, and likewise, if you ask Allah to rectify His offspring, أن تكون قرة عين له, that they are a cooling of his eye, فلا بد أن يسعى ما يقدر عليه من أسباب ذلك لتكون نعمة الأولاد منها. He said, so thus, if you ask Allah to make his children a cooling of his eye, then it is incumbent that he strive to the best of his ability, doing everything he possibly can do to take the means, to take the causes and the means, so that this blessing, that this bounty of children will be for him a gift. Will be for him a gift. وَأَمَّا الشَّطْرُ الثَّانِي, because the other side of that, the flip side of that, is that what? The flip side, مِنْ نِعْمَةِ الْأَوْلَادِ, from the bounty of children, أَن تَكُونَ مِحْنَةً وَعَنَاءً وشقاء وصؤمة على أهله ومجتمعهم, or على أهلهم ومجتمعهم. The flip side is that these children, they will become, if they're not a gift, if they're not benefit for the family and the society, then they will become a calamity. They'll become a tiring agent. They'll become a misfortune. They'll become misery upon the family and upon the society. وَذَلِكَ فِي مَنْ لَمْ يَقُمْ بِمَا أَوْجَبَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ. And this will be the result of the one who does not establish that which Allah has made wajib upon him to establish. مِنْ رَعِيَّةٍ وَعِنَايَةٍ وَتَرْبِيَّةٍ صَالِحَةٍ. And this will be those who have not established that which Allah has made wajib upon them from looking after their children, safeguarding their children, having a concern for their children, raising their children with a proper raising, a righteous raising. Those who أَحْمَلَهُمْ فَلَمْ يُبَالِ بِهِمْ. Those who they are neglectful of their children and they don't think about them. They have no concern for their children. They have no concern for their children, deadbeat fathers and mothers. This is not how the believing slave of Allah should be. This is not how they should be. The Imam rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, talking about the despicable nature of the likes of these individuals. وَأَكْبَرُ هَمِّهِ نَحْوِهِمْ وَأَكْبَرُ هَمِّهِ نَحْوَهُمْ حِينَ كَانُوا شهوة قذفها في رحم الأم. He said, and that the most concern that these despicable individuals have for their children is when they are seeding their children inside of the uterus of the mother. That's the only concern they have for their children. That's the most concern they have for their children, is that lustful desire that they have, that carnal desire that they have at the time of conception, the act of conception. That's all they worried about. As far as what results from that in the children, they don't care about that. They ain't got time for that. أَضَاعَ الْحَقُّ اللَّهِ فِيهِمْ. They lose the right of Allah as relates to their children. فَأَضَاعُوا حَقُّ اللَّهِ فِيهِ. So the children, they lose Allah's rights as relates to the parents. لم يحسن إليهم بالتربية فلم يحسنوا إليه بالبر. They weren't good unto their children as relates to their education and their rearing. So the children aren't good to their parents as relates to being righteous and good unto them. جزاء وفاقا, an according punishment, accordingly appropriate punishment for the likes of these individuals. ففاته نفعهم في الدنيا والآخرة وأصبح من الخاسرين. He lost out on benefiting them in this world and the next, so therefore he became from the losers. ولا يكونن من النادمين. And no doubt he will be from the losers. And he will be from those who are regretful. Those who have extreme regret. قال الله تعالى قل إن الخاسرين الذين خسروا أنفسهم وأهلهم يوم القيامة. Allah Ta'ala says that verily those who are the true losers are those who lose themselves and they lose their families on the day of judgment. These are the true losers. أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. Is this not the ultimate and manifest loss? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those who are successful. We ask Allah ta'ala to make us far removed in this dunya and in the hereafter from those who are the true losers. هذا أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين فاستغفروه فإنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. لا شك يا عباد, it is incumbent upon the parent to try his best to do everything that he can possibly do within his means to raise his children accordingly. The result is not upon his hands. من يهده الله فلا مضل له وَمَن يُضْلِلْ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. Whoever Allah guides, there's no one who can lead him astray. And whoever is led astray due to some sickness and evil that they have within themselves, due to what they have earned with their own hands, then you will find no guide for them. You'll find no guide for them. So sometimes you do everything that is right and the kitty still goes astray. That's not upon you, that's upon them. Everyone, they will carry the burden for what is upon them. But what is upon you is to raise them correctly. What is upon you to raise them correctly. If after you have raised them correctly they go and make bad decisions, then that's upon them. From that which is incumbent, that it has to be mentioned as regards to the raising of our children properly, especially in this day of time that we're living in right now, especially in this month that we're in right now, especially that we are a few days right now from a Kafir holiday that is targeted, that the children are targeted therein. The children are targeted therein. It is incumbent that we know the prohibition of imitating the kuffar. قال العلامة الشيخ صالح الفوزان حفظه الله تعالى لأن التشبيه بهم في الملبس والكلام وغيرهما يدل على محبة المتشبه به. He said because imitating them in the way that we dress and in the way that we talk, then this it is indicative and it points to loving those who are imitated. It is indicative that the one who imitates loves the one who imitates. You understand? It is indicative that the one who is imitating loves those who he is imitating. The one who imitates loves those who is imitating. Now, ولهذا قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من due to this, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said من تشبه بقوم فهو منهم. Whoever imitates a people, then he's from them. فيحرم التشبه بالكفار. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he made it haram to imitate the kuffar فيما هو من خصائصهم من عاداتهم, from that which is from their, or that which is from that which is specific unto them, from their cultural and customs, from their cultural habits or from their customs. Now, it's important that we understand this and we look upon this, because we know we are a few days away from their shirky holiday of Halloween. All of their holidays are shirky, no doubt. But for those who say that, oh, this is just a custom, it's not religious, imitating them also includes imitating them in what you would call a custom. Now, but those who know the origin of this holiday, then they will know that it has ties to the church. وَعِبَادَاتِهِمْ, and that which is particular unto them inside of their worship. وَسَمْتِهِمْ, in their way, وَأَخْلَاقِهِمْ, and their mannerisms and the way that they act. From their mannerisms and the way that they act and things that they do, كَالْحَلْقِ اللِّحَى, like the cutting off of the beards. وَإِطَالَةً, نعم, وَإِطَالَةً الشَّوَارِبِ, and from the growing of the mustache. This is from that which is particular to the kuffar. نعم. وقال العلامة والرطانة بلغتهم إلا عند الحاجة, and speaking with their languages except out of necessity. Speaking with their languages except out of necessity. Let the one who is struggling to learn Arabic or who hasn't even thought about learning Arabic ponder upon that. Let that marinate. Let that marinate. وفي هيئة لباس, and from the manner that they dress, والأكل والشرب, and from the manner that they eat and they drink, وغير ذلك, and other than that. وقال العلامة الفوزان وقد فسر قوله تعالى والذين لا يشهدون الزور, and those who don't witness الزور, those who don't witness evil. It has been explained, the ulama tafsir, they say what this means, ومن صفات عباد الرحمن أنهم لا يحضرون أعياد الكفار, is that they do not attend the holidays of the kuffar. They do not attend them. They do not witness them. They do not view them. لا يحضرون أعياد الكفار, they do not attend them. قال Imam al-Sa'di said about this verse, لا يحضرون الزور, they do not participate, they do not witness, they are not present for zur. And zur, what is that? قال Imam al-Sa'di, القول والفعل المحرم, statements and actions that are haram. This is zur. They do not participate, they are not spectators for statements and actions that are haram. فيجتنبون جميع المجالس المشتملة على الأقوال المحرمة والأفعال المحرمة. So they avoid all sittings that contain therein haram statements and haram actions. ثم قال الإمام السعدي رحمه الله تعالى فإذا كانوا لا يشهدون الزور فمن باب الأولى وأحرى ألا يقولوه ويفعلوه. He said if they do not witness zur, if they do not witness evil, if they do not witness actions and statements that are haram, he said that it takes more precedence and it is more pressing that they do not speak with the haram and they do not act with the haram. So if they don't witness the kafir holiday, going back to our specific example, what our specific discussion, if they do not witness Halloween, then no doubt they will not participate in it, either by going out trick-or-treating or giving the children candy when they come to your door, or by wishing the people the seasonal greeting in this type of season, or by allowing your children to be dressed up into costumes and going to school and partaking in what they're doing in the school from the celebration of the likes of these things. If we don't witness it, if the believer, the Ibad al-Rahman, the servants of Ar-Rahman, if they don't witness it, then no doubt they don't participate in it. No doubt they don't participate in it. It is incumbent, especially living in this country, especially in this time of the year, that we remember the likes of these things. Especially in this time of the year when we are bombarded month after month after month with the holidays of the kuffar, month after month after month, when our children are being asked to participate. Those who have their children inside of public schools, no doubt they are being asked to participate, not just witness, but to participate, to join in these festivals. They're being asked to participate in these festivals, whether that is a secret Santa and giving gifts to one another, whether that is a costume party and a Halloween party that they're having inside their school and eating candy and all that type of stuff that they be doing, or whether that is eating a Thanksgiving style of lunch during Thanksgiving time in celebration of that. No doubt, those who have their children in Catholic school, your children are participating in the likes of this. Which is another proof and another evidence that having our children in the likes of these schools is not capital N, capital O, capital T an option. So if that means we have to work harder, if that means we have to put forth more effort, if that means we got to do what we got to do from the taking of the halal means to establish Muslim schools, then that's what we have to do. Have to do. Capital H, capital A, capital V, capital E, to do. Not an option. Because all of this will enter into the proper rearing of our children. If not, if we leave them in the hands of the kuffar to rear them 8 hours out of the day and to plant the seeds of kufr in them 8 hours a day for 10 months a year, then when they become 18, 19 and start acting out, don't ask where that came from. You was a part of that planting. You was a part of letting your child be victim and a victim to that seeding. You were a part of that. That's part and partial on you. So when the chickens come home to roost, thank yourself. Aqimus salah.